Is there a better way to start a new year than talking about new gear? I don't think so. This is going to be my first EDC gear haul of many gear hauls in 2025. And before I start yapping, let's just get cracking. Like I said, this is the first EDC gear haul of 2025. The aim for these videos is for me to share with you guys some of my favourite EDC items or tools or whatever that have been sent out to the channel over the last few weeks or months. And as always, everything will be linked down below, some affiliate links, some not. If there is an affiliate link, I'll let you know. And as always, with these videos, if you like the look of anything in particular and you want to see a more in-depth video on that, leave me a comment down below and I will do my best to make a dedicated video on that product. We've got about 14 products to get through today because it's been a little while since I made one of these videos. So let's just get on with it. First thing we're going to talk about, as always, some pocket knives. The first knife we're going to talk about today is the Artisan Cutlery Crusoe. And as you can see, this thing is huge. It's an absolute monster and I love it. So what we've got is an overall length of 8.35 inches, quite large, and the blade is 3.54 inches of that overall length. The blade itself is made out of S90V steel, clip point, flat ground, and the most impressive thing about this blade is the blade stock. It's 4.2 mil wide, which is absolutely nuts because if you compare this to most other pocket knives, the blade stock basically double as thick as most of them. It's ridiculous. So this blade isn't gonna break. We've got nice titanium scales which feel really nice in the hand. Where the knife is so big you can get a really easy, comfortable 4-finger purchase on this. The jimping on the back of the blade is really nice and grippy. Thumb stud opening so you can spidey flick it or thumb flick it. Pocket clip is fairly deep, ambidextrous, and it goes standard for about £266 or dollars, but at the moment it's on sale for $199. So this for $199 or pounds is a lot of knife. When it closes, it is kind of drop shutty like a lot of artisan cutlery knives. So just bear that in mind because if your finger gets in the way, it's probably coming off. But that is the Artisan Crusoe. I'll leave a link down below, like I said. Go and check it out. Definitely something that I would recommend keeping in a collection. The next knife we're talking about, still from Artisan Cutlery. This is the Artisan Cutlery Home. I don't know how to say it. H-O-L-M. Either way, this is a fantastic knife. Artisan Cutlery sent this out to me again as just like a little Christmas present, which was really nice of them. And the one that they've sent out to me is the special edition Christmas version. As you can see, the scales on this are absolutely stunning. Titanium scales with a fat carbon inlay on either side, button lock with thumb studs, and you've also got this little nail nick in the middle of the blade that you can use to spidey flick it. The blade is, again, S90V, 3.1 inches and flat ground. And one little key feature about this knife, which is quite cool that you don't really get on many knives, is the fact that it has a safety lock. So next to the button lock, you can see this other little button. When this is pushed one way, the knife will open and close. When it's pushed the other way, it is locked in place, kind of like the safety on a firearm. When it's on, you're not firing. When it's off, you're good to go. And I think that's a really cool little feature. Not so much for like adults and knife carriers, because when have you ever had a pocket knife open up in your pocket without the lock on anyway? It doesn't happen. But what I think this is quite cool for is, say like you got kids around the house or something and maybe you leave your knife out. If the safety's on, a kid is not going to open it, which is ideal because you do not want your children slicing their fingers off. So that's quite a cool little feature and I don't really use it, but some people might. Another thing that's quite cool about it as well is you can use this when the knife is open. So say you're holding the knife in a funny position and you might have accidentally pressed the button and folded it up on yourself like an idiot. Make sure you've got the lock on, and if you're stupid, it's not going to close up on you. But it's a really nice knife, really nice and fidgety. I really enjoy playing with this. I really enjoy carrying this. Carries really nice in the pocket where it's quite a nice slim design, sits nice and deep, and as always with Artisan Cutlery knives, it's just very nice and reliable. This is about the same price as the Crusoe, currently going for about £199 or dollars. And the last lock-in knife that we're going to talk about today is again from Artisan Cutlery, but from their sister brand, CJRB Knives. This is the CJRB Acacia, and I genuinely think this is one of the best budget knives I have ever put my hands on. 3.21 inch blade. The blade steel is something I'm not familiar with. It's RPM 9. If you know anything about that blade steel, please be sure to leave me a comment and tell me about it. But from what I can tell so far, I've carried these knives a fair bit, and out of the box, razor sharp. It's holding up an edge so well, which I'm really surprised at for a £30 knife. We've got FRN scales, which come in a multitude of different colours. As you can see here, they've sent me 2 different colours. I prefer the green one personally, but it's a personal preference. Comes with a crossbar lock, which is really nice and fidgety. The action is brilliant. We've got a thumb or finger hole in the blade to be able to open it. You can thumb flick it or spidey flick it, or you can use the crossbar lock, pull that back and then flip it open. Either way, it works really nice. Nice deep carry pocket clip. And I genuinely cannot say enough good things about this knife for the price. For £30, buy 10 of them and just keep them everywhere as a beta knife, because it is honestly, this is better than a bug out. I'm just going to put it out there. The blade steel, I don't know if it's as good as a bug out, but you've got similar feeling scales, you've got the same lock mechanism, action is fantastic, and it cuts and it's sharp. Like you're saving yourself £100 and you're getting a knife that is incredible. And now on to some UK legal knives. The first one we're going to talk about is from a company that's very well known and very well loved in the UK knife community, and that is Who Knives. This is the Who Knives V4, and I've got to say, this is my favourite knife so far from Who Knives. We've got very, very similar specs to every other Who knife that's been released so far, and don't forget, fantastic action, which is something that we've become to expect now from Who Knives, and they always deliver. The blade steel is M390. We've got a 2.8 inch cutting edge, which makes it sit within the UK legal laws to be able to carry this legally with no questions asked. The main difference on this knife from the V3 is the fact that we now have a tanto shaped blade rather than, I think the last one was a spear point. Either way, I much prefer the tanto style blade to that spear point. I just generally like a tanto. So I think that blade is absolutely stunning. We've got the standard thumb stud opening, which isn't generally what I would use to open this knife, as we have a flipper tab, which is what works a bit better. Titanium scales, obviously, and then the standard steel deep carry ambidextrous clip, which is the only thing on this knife and every other Who knife that I hate. And I will say that, I know it's a strong word, but I hate the clip on these knives. That's the only downfall that Who Knives has. I just think, personally, I don't know if anyone else thinks it, I think the clips are shit. I'm not gonna lie, they look horrible, I think, and they're just a bit too stiff and a bit tight, and I just don't like it. They could do so much better. If they just changed the clip, this knife would be a whole new knife, I think. But aside from that, this knife is fantastic, £175, which is a good price, and I'm just gonna leave it there. The next one, you guys are gonna get sick of hearing me talk about this soon. The UK PK. There's so many different variations of this, I'm not gonna go into the specs. If you wanna see a more in detail video on this knife, I'll leave a link here, because I've made a dedicated video, but this is the best UK legal knife money can buy. I've decided. I'm not going back on my word. This is incredible. And that's all I'm gonna say. So if you wanna know more, like I said, hit that link. The next knife is one that I can't seem to make my mind up on. I don't know if I love it or if I don't. And it's for one reason: it doesn't have a pocket clip. This is the QSP Penguin slip joint. Oh, and it is a beast. What we got here is a 14C 28N blade steel, 2.99 inch blade, which is just pushing it for that UK legal law. Sheep's foot style blade, which is one of my favourite styles of blade shape. I love how they look and I love how they work. G10 scales, which again you can have in pretty much any colour you want, I guess. And where this is a slip joint, we don't have that same action as we would on like the Who knife, but I personally prefer a slip joint to a double detent because I just feel like they're more safe. And the slip joint mechanism on this knife is so stiff, I don't think it's going to close up on you. You've got a nail nick here at the top of the blade, which is what you grip onto to be able to open it. You've got a nice little finger choil at the back of the blade, which means you can choke up a little bit. We've got a lanyard hole, which I guess is how we're going to have to get this knife out of our pocket, considering there isn't a clip. And it is a nice 4-finger grip, regardless of whether you're choking up to that finger choil or not. So it feels great in the hand, works really great. The only downside to this knife, in my opinion, is the fact that we don't have a pocket clip. This goes for around £53, so it's a very good price. QSP are known for their good prices and their good quality knives. So hopefully QSP see this video, decide to put a clip on it, and then this knife will be absolutely fantastic. And the last knife we're going to talk about in today's video is the Twisted Assisted Atlas. I'd heard a lot of good things about Twisted Assisted, and I tested out a couple of their knives at Sharp Show last year, and then I just thought to myself, you know what, I need to get one. So I picked this up, and I've got to say, I am really liking it. Again, on this knife, we've got a 14C28N blade steel. The blade on this one is only 2.8 inches, which means that we're a little bit closer to that safe zone when it comes to those 3-inch UK legal laws. We've got ambidextrous thumb stud opening. This is a slip joint, but it's very easy to open one-handed with those thumb studs. G10 scales, again, you can get this in a multitude of different colours. This is the green colour. They feel really nice. It's like a smooth G10 rather than like the rough G10 that you get on some knives. So I think this is really nice, although it means you can't get as much of a good grip on it. It feels fantastic in the hand. Again, you can get a fairly comfortable 4-finger grip on this, and it kind of like molds to the shape of your hand. Like the way they've designed this is wonderful. The clip on this is brilliant. I like it. It's pretty bog standard, but it's better than the shit on the other knives we've spoken about so far. Ambidextrous again, like I said, so it means this knife is fully ambidextrous. Whether you're a lefty or a righty, you are gonna love it. Nice and sharp, does the job well, sits nice in the pocket, it's nice and small, nice and thin, nice and lightweight, you barely know that it's there, and it does the job. And for £50, you can't go wrong. Onto some pens. I've had some nice pens sent out to me over the last few weeks, and the first one we're going to talk about is one that I genuinely didn't think I would like, but hasn't left my pocket since it got here. And that is the Big Idea Design Fountain EDC pen. Now, the reason I thought that I wouldn't like this is I'm a lefty. Fountain pens just don't work for left-handed people. I've tried dozens of fountain pens throughout my life, and every single time I can't use it properly because I smudge it or it leaks, it can't go in the pocket, and I can't write with it very well purely because I'm a lefty. And just like the way we write on paper, we're strange. We're either like all the way around the top or we're like underneath. We never like glide nicely across the paper like you lucky right-handed people. But like I said, this hasn't left my pocket since it got here. I was very pleasantly surprised. Admittedly, it did take me a couple of days to get used to writing with it, but I think that's probably the same for most people when it goes from coming from a ballpoint pen to a fountain pen. This is the Stonewashed titanium version. Obviously, Big Eye Design have so many different versions. They'll have a raw titanium, they have this, they'll have brass, they'll have copper, they'll have zirc, they'll have so many different versions. Ranging in price, this exact one costs about $100, about 80 quid, and it's pocket friendly. It doesn't leak, it writes wonderfully, it feels fantastic in the hand, it's nicely weighted, it comes with a refillable cartridge, which means if you've got your own ink that you really like for your fountain pens, if you're a fountain pen user, you can just refill this cartridge whenever it runs out and not have to use different cartridges if you run out. And like it's very well thought through. The cap fits nicely onto the back of the pen if you want a little bit of extra length or a little bit of extra weight at the top. It's just like anything else from Big Idea Design, an incredible piece of gear. I do have an affiliate link for Big Eye Design, which will be down below, so you get 10% off your order. The next pen we're going to talk about is another one from Big Eye Design, and this is their dual side click pen. I am absolutely loving this. I haven't used it all that much because, like I said, I've been using the fountain pen a lot, but this is wicked. The click, as it is with any other click pen from Big Eye Design, is immaculate. It's so quiet, so smooth. Ready? No noise at all. And then on the sides of the pen, like I said, it's the dual side click pen. So you've got these two little buttons on either side of the pen, which means that if you're left or right-handed, whip your thumb up, press the button and the pen will close. Feels great in the hand. I've got the brass version. I'm a sucker for brass. It looks amazing. It feels amazing. It's nice and heavy, which means that it feels like there's actually something in your hand. And as you can see on the bottom of the pen, the bit where you like hold it is a bit fatter. And that's not necessarily just to make it a bit more comfortable in the hand, which I think it makes it more comfortable to write with. That's not its primary function. Its primary function is something that Big Eye Design are quite well known for, and that is the fact that their pens can pretty much take any ink cartridge that you can think of. So essentially, if you have pens that you really, really like to use, you can take the ink out of those and put them inside this casing, which is a lot nicer and a lot bigger and just feels great, but you still get to use the ink from the pen that you've known and loved for a long time. And the way that works is this bottom bit that I'm talking about can be screwed like tighter, so the pen goes shorter if the cartridge is shorter, or you can loosen it, which makes the pen a bit longer if you've got a longer cartridge. So that's a really, really cool function and a really wicked idea from Big Eye Design. It's a big idea, that is. So this is again about £100 and it is a fantastic pen. Yet another fantastic product from Big Eye. Onto the other end of the spectrum when it comes to pens. I've spoken about these a fair few times now in the last few months. This is the Silver Fox Tools Neo pen. Like I said, I've spoken about this quite a lot of times and you guys are probably sick of hearing it now, but the reason I wanted to add this into this video is because these are now fully available for purchase. They were on pre-order and back order for a while because they're a very new pen to the market, but now they are readily available. You can order one anytime you like. So a quick rundown of this pen for those of you that haven't seen me talk about it before. Basically, it's a very, very, very small pen. Screw cap at the front, which is on there nice and tight, which when you take it off can be magnetized with the magnet in the top of the cap to the back of the pen itself, which is a really, really good idea because where this pen is so small, probably only about 2 inches without the cap on the back, unless you've got like little child hands, it's not comfortable to write with unless this cap is on the back. So you magnetize this cap to the back of the pen, gives you about an extra inch or so to make the pen actually nice and comfortable to write with. Ships with blue ink, nice little deep carry-ish pocket clip, which can be taken off if you want to using little Torx bits here. I believe they're probably like a T4. It comes in brass or titanium and they go for around between £45 to £50 depending on the option that you choose. And now just onto a few little knickknacks to talk about just before we finish off the video. The first one we're going to talk about is a nice little flashlight that I've been sent. This isn't like a normal torch or flashlight. It's a little bit different. This is the Armitech Crystal Pro. This thing has so many different features. I'm not going to run through all of them, but like I said at the beginning of this video, if you want to know more about this product or any other product, leave me a comment down below and I will try and make a more in-depth video on it. But essentially, this is like a multi-purpose flashlight. So the actual flashlight itself, on the back, there's like a little clip, which means that you could clip it to a shirt, you could clip it to a pocket, you could clip it to a belt, you could clip it to a strap on a bag, you can clip it to your lip, you can clip it to anything just to like have it in a suitable place for whatever you need to use it for. Comes out of the box as well with a headband that you can attach it to, so you can use it as a headlamp. There is this, I'm not entirely sure what this is for, but I believe it's for like going around a frame on a bike or maybe around your handlebars on a bike, because one of the features that I've been told about this flashlight that I haven't tested because I don't go out really riding a bike anymore like I used to, but apparently this can be used as like a bicycle brake light. So essentially you stick this to your back of your bike, it's got a red light mode, so that's your rear light, and apparently there's sensors in it which when you're going from a high speed down to a lower speed, the light will get brighter and essentially work like a brake light in a car or on a motorcycle would, which I think is really good idea. I don't know if it works or not, like I said, because I haven't tested that, but if it does, that is a wicked idea. So there's that as well, and then you've got this standard like lanyard leash, which means that you can attach this to the torch, hang it around your neck, and then you've got a nice out the front light source. I think there's about 7 different light modes, all the way up to 220 lumens, so it's not the brightest, but let's be honest, for an EDC thing, you don't really need a torch to have like fucking 3000 lumens, it's just not necessary. USB rechargeable with a micro USB, that's one thing that I think they should change, is make this USB-C rechargeable, because everything else is USB-C now. These go for 30 quid, absolute bargain for the amount of different use cases that you can have with this light. I keep this in my daily toolkit, in my EDC bag, and whenever I need something in a pinch, this does the job. Next up, a sling bag or a pouch, whatever, from a company that I haven't actually mentioned on the channel before. This is the cell phone pouch from JS Designs. They are a company based in Ukraine, I believe, and they make some incredible looking products. I bought this back in the Black Friday sales in November, and it did only come towards the end of December. I think Ukraine, they're in a bit of a tough situation at the moment, so you've got to be nice on the shipping times. But this is insane. So as you can see, it's a different sort of shape to most EDC pouches which open clamshell. What I would say this is really nice for is like a daily essentials kit when you're traveling around a city, say you're on a city break, or if you live in a city and you're just going out and about, because of like stuff like pickpockets or whatever, having this just to keep your phone, your wallet, your keys and any other little essential bits in, it's nice and small, you can hide it away and you can keep all your stuff safe. On the outside, it's made out of the X-Pack material that we've all grown to love. Nice and durable, nice and solid, and it looks fantastic. There's plenty of different colours. I went for the green option, but there's a black and there's like a camo version, I think a couple of others. At the bottom, you can see there is this little hook and loop section. Just above that, you've got these two little like hooks, I guess. You can hang your keys off there, hang a carabiner off there, hang nothing off there, like they're there if you need them. And then you can see that there's these two little seams a little bit higher up. So inside the bag, it's just a hole. There's not really any storage, as it is more designed to keep something like, say, a notebook, a phone, and like a power bank. So on the outside, that is where I would use this to store more of the tools, like a pen, maybe a multi-tool. You could stick your wallet down in there if you want to. You could stick a torch to it, like anything like that. This is the area I would use to store my gear. Also, the fact that it's on the outside sometimes can it not be ideal, but I also quite like that because I carry this around in my pocket, in my jacket, and I can reach into my pocket and just literally feel on the front of this pouch and pick out, say, my flashlight and use it if I need to, rather than having to take the pouch out, open it up, take the torch out, and then, you know. So having that there, it's like nice quick access. And then there's the little top pocket as well, which is a lot smaller. And for this, you could maybe keep some cards in there if you don't want to carry a wallet. Or what I keep in here is just some plasters or band-aids, whatever you want to call them. YKK zippers. And the zip pulls are JS Design branded. They feel amazing. They're nice and big. You're not going to miss it. Like, they feel so good. Like, probably some of the nicest feeling zipper pulls that I've felt on a pouch. It opens up over the top. It doesn't come all the way down. And then, as you can see, it just like opens up like a little mouth. Let's say that. And then it's perfect size to fit like your phone and a notebook and a power bank or whatever, like I said. So this does have an option to come with a strap. I didn't opt for the strap option because it basically doubled in price. This I paid £28 for, plus shipping, but with the strap it goes from 28 up to about 54. So for me, I was like, it's pointless spending that much on a strap when I can use a strap from a different sling or bag or camera strap or whatever that I've already got at home. But I haven't felt the need to put a strap on this at all because I carry it around, or I put it in a sling bag, or I'll just put it in my pocket or whatever. On the back is obviously where you could put your strap. And then you have this section in the back, which is essentially MOLLE compatible. So if you've got something with MOLLE webbing on it, you can stick this to that, and then it makes it more modular and a lot more usable for different scenarios. I really like this. I'll leave a link to it down below. You buy them from Etsy, and I can't recommend it enough. I didn't know if I was going to like it because it is a bit different, but the more I'm using it, the more I'm starting to like it. And the build quality, top notch. Really, really nice stuff. I now want to talk to you about my nutsack. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I know it's a bit cliche. We're talking about nutsack bags, not my balls. This is the Nutsack Speed Sling. Nutsack were kind enough to send this out to me a couple of months ago, and I've got to say, I'm enjoying it. So this is made out of 18-ounce wax canvas, and wax canvas, if you don't know what it is, it's just like, it's basically wax dipped cotton, I think, but it's like really nice and durable. This is thick, like this is solid. It's gonna last, I can promise you that. Got YKK zippers all round with little leather accents on each zipper pull, which feel fantastic, nice and soft, and they're just nice and smooth to use. You've got a front pocket on the outside for quick access stuff like maybe a wallet, your keys, a lighter, you can stick your phone in there. And then on the back you can see that it's nice and padded, so it's gonna sit nice and comfortably on your back. You could wear it on your front, but it's a bit bigger, so it just look a bit weird, so stick it on your back, have this padding to keep it nice and comfortable. The strap is sewn into the bag itself, so it's not like a clippable, removable one. You genuinely have to put this over your head to put it on and take it off over your head too. Some people might not like that. It doesn't bother me. And then the strap itself can go really long if you're a fat bastard, or it can be really small if you're a runt. And then on the inside, as you can see, one side of the bag is completely covered with MOLLE webbing, so you can attach little pouches inside it if you want to, or you can use the pocket clips on, say, like a torch or a pocket knife, or you can stick the sunglasses arm down in there to keep it all nice and organized. And then on the other side, you've got two nice big pockets, which you can fit plenty of stuff in, whatever you want to do. Other than that, there's no storage on the inside of this bag. It opens up nice. It sits flat on the bottom, even when it's open. So you could use this as like a desk caddy, with a nice open space in between the molly webbing and the pockets on either side to be able to just chuck shit, essentially. It's not cheap. This is about 158, 160 pounds, but with that comes the quality. And on to the last thing that I want to talk to you about today, not necessarily EDC based, but also kind of ties into the same thing. This is the multi-function camp light or lantern from Nextool. I talk about Nextool quite a lot on this channel. They make some amazing little affordable pocket tools. So they sent this out to me as like a little Christmas gift. I didn't know it was coming and I didn't know what it was. So when I first turned it on, it comes up with this light. I was a bit like, all right, what's that? So I pressed it again. It started flashing. Okay. And then whatever this mode is, it glows, right? And then you press it again, a white camping light comes on. That's bright in my eyes. And press it again, this outer ring goes off and the camp light is a bit brighter. All right, turn it off. So I was like, all right, here's what it is. And then I noticed on the side, there's this little hook thing here. So I played with that and I was like, all right, what's that? And then me being me, I pulled it. You ready for this? Fucking fairy lights. It's so cool. I can tell you now, this is going to be used all the time when my camper van is done. A subtle hint there, camper van coming soon. I'm going to be doing a full build out video, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. But these lights are long as well. At a guess, I don't know the specs on this because I don't really know much about it at all. They just sent it out to me to say thank you for recommending us to people, essentially. But I think these are about, I think it's about 10 meters long. I had my daughter run to the kitchen from the living room the other day. It's probably about 10 to 15 meters all round. She was round the other side of the table and I was just sat in the chair in the living room and she was screaming like, it's still going. So this is going to be used a lot. As you can see, there's a hook on the end of the fairy lights, which means you could hook this around a tent awning or a camper van awning or whatever you want. And obviously you've got this nice big base at the bottom, which means that you can just like rest this on something and just have your fairy lights on. If not, you can hang it up and you can use the white light. Honestly, a fantastic little tool. I'll leave a link to it down below. I don't know how much it is or any of the specs on it. I just really, really wanted to share this with you guys because I genuinely think that this is incredible. It's USB-C rechargeable as well. The runtime seems to be pretty good so far. I've charged it up and I've used it a fair bit already, but nothing major, and it's nice and bright and it seems to be doing the job. So I'll link that down below. Definitely check it out if you're into camping or like if you've got a camper van or something like that, or if you just like fairy lights. And with that comes the end of my first EDC gear haul of 2025. I hope you liked the video and I hope you found something in this video that you like. Like I said, everything is linked down below, so go and check everything out. Some affiliate links and some not. Anything that's bought through an affiliate link, thank you very much. That's what keeps the lights on here and helps me keep making these videos for you guys. So if you did get something from this video, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you liked. Like I said a few times, if there's anything in this video that you wanted to see a more in-depth video on, please do let me know and I'll do my best to make a more dedicated video on that product. And with that, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'd love to have you join along with the community. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Either way, it's engagement and it helps me out. I'm going to shut up and I will see you later. Have a good one.